Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the cProfit podcast. This is part of our 5-part series where we unveil 5 gifts that you can give to your Valentine this Valentine's Day. We have already introduced around 4 different gifts, namely a systematic investment plan, a will, a share,
Health insurance.
and health insurance. Health insurance was actually the third gift, and the share was the fourth one. I was just so excited to talk about shares that I said shares before I said health insurance. But remember that all 4 gifts are incredible. They are amazing gifts that your Valentine will remember in the long term. Probably not now, maybe not now, or probably will. I'm not sure. It depends on the sort of person you're with, but it doesn't change the fact that these are gifts that will aid your Valentine in the long term. But what's the point of having so many of them? What's the point of having a share? What's the point of having a will? And what's the point of everything when you cannot keep everything under one roof? As you already know, a will is something that you write to tell your loved ones that these are the sort of assets and loans that you had during the course of your lifetime. How are you going to know about the different assets and loans and all kinds of things that you have during the course of your lifetime? Now we have a very special gift that we unveiled towards the end, and I have Miss Vanitha that will unveil that gift for us, but that's not something we're going to talk about now. We're going to talk about the 5th and final gift. Can we have a drum roll? For the 5th and final gift, it's going to be Miss Vanitha that's going to introduce us to that.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Adarsh. One is, I was telling you that unclaimed assets in India are just closer to 51,500 crores as of 31st March 2021. And remember, the pandemic period continued, so we don't know the unclaimed assets as on today. So that made me to think, so just what exactly make the people not to claim, right? So just why are they not claiming? So that means either just I invest and forget, because there was a bond in 2012-13 floated by government called an infra bond, just 20,000, and that was an additional tax benefit kind. So just most of the people, when it matures, they call and ask, ma'am, what is this kind? I said, just this is the amount that we had invested some time back. It is not done for us, it is done elsewhere, because cProfit came into existence in 2013 August. So one is anything that you don't just open or check it for more than 6 months is something you end to forget, right? So if you should not forget, when you make your hard-earned savings, you should remember. So how can you remember? By putting it in a tracker, that is a organizer. We call it as a portfolio tracker, multi-asset portfolio tracker, we would say. Again, right, we just look at things from investment point of view. Then something popped up in my mind as to just why should people be thinking of only investments? So just probably just people have got XYZ savings account, they've just got loans, and they have got something very which they treasure in their life. All those things are to be saved like. So all these things are to be recorded. It has to be organized. So don't you feel an organizer is very, very important in everybody's life?
That is truly right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our 5th and final gift is an organizer. So what does an organizer do, you might ask? Well, what it does is it aggregates all of your assets. I'm sure once you get into the stock market, you get so excited and so immersed that you buy way too many shares, and you come to this point where you have far too many shares, more shares than you can even remember. And you'll start investing in other asset classes like bonds, FDs, and so on and so forth. And then come a time where you wouldn't be able to keep track of these things. So you need an organizer to keep track of it. Deva, what are your thoughts on an organizer? Why do you think one must have one?
Yeah, so we as Indians are wholehearted, and we want to favor everybody. So if you see, you have a vehicle insurance, there's a person for you, and there's a banker who's behind you for some investments. So you don't want to avoid anybody. You want to make friendship with everybody. So you have your investments scattered. So it's not wrong, but until and unless you have a report of it, then there's no problem. So organizing those is mandatory, and it's the need of that.
That's totally right. Now, as Ms. Vanitha also pointed out, there have been many clients that we have had over the years that came to us and asked us questions about investments that they made in the past, and they couldn't remember it. It's actually surprising how people make investments but don't remember it. But it doesn't change the fact that we are
No,
humans.
not
at the
only
end.
it's that they forget, and also right, what in case we are not there? How will the next, when we only tend to forget, how will our next gen or our family will remember all those things, right? So just because, every investment has to be tracked, has to be ordered, organized, and displayed, so that within my life I'm able to enjoy whatever has been invested. There was an event in CNBC, right? So some familiar television, I don't remember the name of it probably. So just where a guy was just talking to the anchor and was asking actually just, I have XYZ company share. So what do I do it like my grandfather bought it like? And it's a mind-boggling figure because investment like in equity should be
That
forgotten.
is huge, Deepa. That is just huge, isn't it? It's just huge.
Right. So just it's a very huge chunk of money which the grandfather created. They were taking care of the grandfather so well, and then the grandfather during his life end is what he was just alerting that I have something like a share certificate. Please check it like. Now that is going for several crores. So whatever efforts they have put in is really just helping them to just settle in their life now. So what I say is, see, you have to just buy quality shares and forget it is what we used to say as an advisor. That doesn't mean that forget means forget it. Stay put for long term is what we say. So again, when I say stay put for longer term, you will have to just remember that XYZ investment is there, and you sure your family should know it. And especially when it comes to financial planning, we used to say that you have to plan along with your spouse, right? Spouse should know what and all you are planning, where you are investing, how much you are investing, what is the risk and the return matrix in every investment, right? So just the same way when you are investing, we used to say
Yes,
diversify, but I have seen many
absolutely.
people scattering too much. It's over diversification. That's also not good. But whatever it is, see, just every many people we even ask them to just consolidate their savings account. They used to say this. I have 12 or 13 savings bank accounts. What for? See, actively how much do you use? Use probably two or three. So what I say is, it can be anything. And even a few investors they used to say, I have just 40,000 or 50,000 left there. Then I used to just ask them, 40, 50,000 left across 10 accounts. Sir, 5 lakh, is it a small money for you? So what I say is, have a organizer, and I'm giving a clue, but cProfit is just probably planning to introduce an organizer. I thought of keeping it as a
Oh,
secret, but I'm just leaking it here.
that is amazing. That is the special gift that we have hidden for you this entire time. C Profit will be launching its organizer. It's not out yet, but it'll be out very soon. And all of you are free to reach out to us to know more about the organizer and how it can help you organize your investments. Now, organization is so important because all of our assets are so scattered, if I'm not wrong. And I think Deepa has a very good idea of why it's important for us to keep our investments organized or anything organized in general. Why do you think organization is important?
Organizing everything is very important, but then without an organizer, how will you track them? Without tracking, how will you know them? So a tracker will really help you to know on what time you have invested, how long it was being invested, and to just get back to it and at least to claim it, you should know. Your in case of your absence also, that will really help your loved ones to take care of things. So organizer is very important.
Yes, that is what the C Profit Organizer is all about. It's about tracking all of your investments, and there are so many products in this world. There are so many financial products, and I know that all of us are keen on investing in all of them. But how do you keep track of them? Well, you do that with the C Profit Organizer. Diva, what are your thoughts on the C Profit Organizer? Why do you think it could actually help your investors?
One is consolidating, as we know, people have scattered their investments for a period of time, and at one point of time, sooner or later, they need to do the consolidation. So this organizer will be a great help to everyone. And
That's actually a wonderful point Devaraj just made there, because after a certain period of time, I don't think any of us will have the peace of mind to play around with these financial products anymore. After a certain period of time, say when you reach the age of retirement, let's say that I reach the age of 60 today and I'm officially retired from my job, I don't think I want to deal with the weight of responsibility that comes with holding these financial products, say stocks, bonds, and so on, after a certain period of time will reduce the number of assets
Thing
you
is,
have.
we're talking about retirement. It's not only for during the retirement. See, just even people just end up just getting the critical illnesses at times. So I have a client actually. Just I had a client who used to just tell me like, I simply asked him actually just sir, why do we invest in this many sir? It looks like too much diversification kind. Then he was telling me, ma'am, when I was young actually just wherever I used to get 0.5% more, I used to hop around the bank and just invest. So it used to excite me, right? So that's how actually just I just it got piled up. So today just I find it difficult to just manage it. So what I used to say is, so you could diversify. Diversification should not be too much. And again, right, you have to track it. You have to just put it under an organizer. You will have to ensure that your family knows where the organizer is, right? So just it goes inevitable to just have the organizer in the physical or in digital or in both. It matters a lot, right? So just because otherwise I have written a will, where have I kept, right?
Yeah.
I have just taken a loan, where did I take? I know families which got stuck with this COVID where they don't know where the loan account number of the breadwinner is because the EMI keeps getting deducted. They want to stop it. If they stop it, actually, just it's going to be disastrous because they are living in that house. So it happens. So one is the family should be kept well aware as to where the organizer is. So just we call it as a multi-asset tracker. We cannot say that any investor who comes to us should be our first investor. They would have invested in XYZ life insurance, blah blah policies and all kind. So when they come to us, literally we say, see to your when you say just to your doctor and to your advocate, you should not tell lies. You should also not tell lies. You should be frank, transparent enough to your financial advisor, right?
Yes, it's very important for you to be honest with your financial advisor, and it's also important for you to keep your investments organized. No matter the age, it's important for you to keep everything in one place so that you can live without any tension during the course of your lifetime. During the course of these episodes, we covered 5 interesting gifts, 5 very interesting gifts that you can give to your Valentine. 5 gifts that wouldn't actually come to the top of your mind when you're planning to give a gift to someone. You usually think about giving a bicycle or a bike or probably a house, who knows? You could literally give anything of your choice, but these are 5 gifts that would be there on the back of your mind, but you'll always suspect whether if it's right for your Valentine or not. But trust me, it is incredible. After a certain period of time, they'll understand the reason why you gave this to them, and they'll think about it more and more. And these are some of the most reminiscent gifts one can give to their Valentine. The whole idea behind coming up with this episode or these episodes was to help you the importance of wealth creation, wealth protection, wealth organization, and wealth distribution. So you do all of this through 5 gifts, namely systematic investment plans, as Deepa said, and as Ma'am said, a will, and as Deva said, shall or shares, or anything you'd like to call it. Then we have health insurance. Then what better than a cProfit organizer? cProfit will be launching its organizer very soon. That was the big unveil. That was what we had in our minds for a long, long time. We have finally managed to put it out for all of you to see. On that note, make sure to give your Valentine something that she or he will remember in the course of a lifetime. I'd like to close this episode, but I cannot do this without asking all of you on your final comments on this interesting podcast episode or these podcast episodes that we've had in the last few weeks. Starting with Miss Vanitha, what do you think about this exactly? Why do you think this is going to benefit everybody?
This Valentine's Day, think of a gift that your loved ones will really think of. So that is, this is something amazingly brilliant, and then a loved one will look at you and for sure will say, just, you're being very, very smart, right? Because these are all some smarter gifts. And again, as I said, the Valentine's Day need not come only once in a year. It can come every month also. It can just knock your door via SIP, right? It can again actually just maybe put your hands up stating that, say like, why don't you just write the will and protect us? See what your family needs today, because we are in the fag end of pandemic, and I'm not so sure actually just whether we are in the fag end or what, because we are seeing actually just series after series. So just now, these are all something like a very unique and something memorable gifts that one could give to the Valentines?
Yes, of course, others. Maybe they sound like, when what is the use of me giving nothing today or maybe later. But what matters the most is after I'm not there, also you're protected. That means more for everybody. That's what it is. So I feel, yes, all these five are very important and very meaningful gifts which you can really give your Valentine. So yes, first of all, yes, we all have to wish our listeners a very happy Valentine's Day and give something that everyone really cherishes for what you are for.
Almost everything is covered. Everything.
There's nothing much to say that what has already been said. You're bound to get everyone's attention with these gifts, if I'm not wrong. At the end of the day, all of us want to give gifts that will be remembered for a long time. And you cannot give a gift when it's similar to the one that's already been given by everybody. Because if I gave a bag to her on her birthday, I'm sure that there'll be 100 others that will give her a bag as well. But if I gave her a share in a company that sells bags, then that's certainly going to raise some eyebrows. And after a certain period of time, everybody will know the reason why I did what I did.
So, Adarsh, I'll just say one thing then. In such a case, give 5 financial gifts to your loved one along with a virtual rose this time.
Yes.
Yes, give her a virtual rose and also give her a cProfit organizer. Remember that, a cProfit organizer. But if you don't know what it is exactly, then always feel to reach out to us by dialing the numbers 080-4124-5021. You can also call us at 080-4124-5022. You can also send us an email at info@cprofitwell.com, and you're also free to reach out to our website, which is www.cprofitwell.com. And there are some interesting data points that we have been using during the course of the series of presentations or podcast episodes, I'd like to call it. And all of this were derived from www.finhancers.com. Feel free to check us out. On that note, I'd like to close this edition of the cProfit podcast. I'd like to wish each and every one of you a happy Valentine's Day, and I hope all of you get a present that will be meaningful and will be remembered for a long time. I hope you stand out this Valentine's Day. Remember that. Thank you very much for joining us. Make sure to tune in again. This has been your host Adarsh, and I've had Miss Vanitha, Mr. Devarajan, and Miss Deepa as part of this podcast. And they will be back, and I will be back as well in our next episode. See you later.